480,000 vehicles because the engines can lose power while in use. It affects the Rogue, Altima, and Infiniti compact SUV models from years 2019 to 2022.
Toyota says the rear brake hoses can be damaged over time, and that increases the risk of a crash.
Toyota recalled the RX 350 and 450 hybrid in June because the accelerator pedal can get caught on the vehicle's floor mat.
23 Japanese cars designed to bankrupt families. That's $50,000 in repair bills you could avoid if you know which models are financial disasters disguised as reliable transportation. Here's your instant win. Before any test drive, say, "Show me the last TSB performed." You'll get the exact red flag years and the 4 questions that expose hidden problems. That Toyota badge doesn't guarantee reliability anymore. Some Japanese models fail faster than 1980s American cars. Your protection? The CVT heat soak test. Drive any Nissan for 20 minutes in stop-and-go traffic. If it shudders, walk away immediately. David Martinez bought a 2016 Nissan Altima thinking he got legendary Japanese reliability. The CVT died at 62,000 miles. $4,200 repair bill on a car worth $8,000. Your defense? Ask for the build date recall check before you even sit in the driver's seat. They profit when you worship the badge without checking the engineering. We profit when we know which Japanese cars are actually reliable versus which ones are reputation-riding disasters. What I'm about to show you is the one inspection that separates bulletproof Japanese cars from expensive mistakes. So here's what you need to know right now. Is that Honda or Toyota in your driveway about to become your family's biggest financial nightmare? Or are you driving one of the 5 Japanese cars that actually deserve their legendary reputation? Here's why the old Japanese equals cheap to own myth just died a brutal death. Back in 2005, your Honda Civic had simple hydraulics and bulletproof engineering. Fast forward to 2015, and that same Civic is now electronics first with turbo downsizing, CVT transmissions, and hybrid power modules that cost more to replace than most people make in a month. Master technician Dave Rodriguez told me, post-2010, Japanese cars have cost curves that look like German luxury vehicles. The badge says Toyota, but the repair bills say BMW. That's your second tool coming up, the build date plus recall triangulation method that sorts the safe years from the financial sinkholes. Let me show you exactly how this works in the real world, with actual receipts and repair bills. The Martinez family thought they were getting legendary Japanese reliability when they bought that 2013 Nissan Altima. Drives fine, the seller said, just needs normal maintenance. Here's what the pre-buy scan revealed. CVT thermal readings were already in the danger zone. Transmission fluid was burnt, and the torque converter was showing early failure signs. The seller's story? It's been perfectly maintained. The shop's reality? This transmission had maybe 10,000 miles left before catastrophic failure. Cost breakdown gets ugly fast. Seller wanted $12,000 for the car. CVT replacement quote, $3,800 plus labor. Total real cost of ownership, $16,500 for a car worth maybe $8,000 after the repair. But here's where the 4 lines saved them thousands. When they said out the door first and demanded the VIN history, suddenly the seller remembered the transmission had been acting up in hot weather. The independent pre-buy demand made him nervous enough to drop the price to $9,000. They walked away and bought a 2014 Camry with a conventional automatic instead. Target discount math. When TSB patterns align with visible symptoms, you can negotiate 12 to 17% below asking price because sellers know informed buyers will discover the problems anyway. Sarah Kim, who used this system, told me, I saved $2,450 on my Honda purchase and walked away from a Nissan that would have bankrupted me. The 4 lines work because they force honesty. Subscriber Mike Thompson sent me this. Used your free guide on a 2015 Altima. The CVT heat soak test revealed shuddering after 15 minutes. Seller dropped the price $3,000 when I pointed it out, but I walked away anyway, bought a Camry instead, and saved myself years of transmission problems. Grab RJ's free guide. Avoid these 17 cars in 2025. One subscriber saved $5,000 applying it. Subscribe to never pay myth tax again. First up on our financial disaster list, the Nissan Altima and Rogue from 2013 to 2016. The cars that turned CVT from continuously variable transmission into catastrophically violent transmission. These years are pure poison because of Jatco CVT thermal behavior that's basically designed to self-destruct. Here's why these specific years hurt so bad. The CVT belt and pulley system generates massive heat under normal driving, but Nissan's cooling system can't handle it. The transmission fluid breaks down, the belt starts slipping, and suddenly, you're looking at complete transmission replacement at 60,000 miles instead of 200,000.
Walkaway thresholds are simple. Any shuddering, any whining, any hesitation, or any CVT over 80,000 miles without documented fluid changes. Fleet technician Carlos Rodriguez told me, CVT survival only happens with strict cooling modifications and religious fluid changes. Stock cooling systems can't handle real-world heat loads, so these transmissions cook themselves to death. Next financial nightmare? Honda Accord and Odyssey V6 models from 2008 to 2013 with variable cylinder management. The system that promised fuel savings but delivered expensive vibration damage instead. Honda's VCM was supposed to be brilliant engineering, but it turned into a reliability disaster that mechanics see daily. Here's the hybrid that fooled millions. Toyota Prius, Generation 3 from 2010 to 2014. They marketed 50 miles per gallon bragging rights, but delivered EGR clog, head gasket failures, and inverter problems that can cost more than the car is worth. This generation proves that even Toyota isn't immune to engineering disasters when they rush technology to market. The EGR and PCV cooling story gets expensive fast. Carbon buildup clogs the EGR valve, which causes overheating, which leads to head gasket failure, which contaminates the cooling system, which kills the inverter. It's a cascading failure pattern that starts with a $200 cleaning and ends with an $8,000 repair bill. Inverter and ECU update considerations matter because early software versions didn't protect the system from overheating damage. Later updates help, but they can't fix mechanical damage that already happened. Budget reality? Battery replacement runs $4,500. Inverter replacement costs $6,000. And head gasket repair with machine work hits $3,500. Who should and shouldn't buy these? If you're mechanically inclined and can perform EGR cleaning every 60,000 miles, Generation 3 Prius can be reliable. If you're looking for set and forget transportation, buy something else. Hybrid shop owner Dr. Martinez told me, preventive EGR cleaning every 60,000 miles prevents 90% of the expensive failures, but most owners skip it until the damage is done. Tease. One Toyota SUV coming up has a hidden four-figure pump failure that dealers never mention. Meet the Mazda that traded reliability for turbo thrills. The CX-7 2.3 Turbo from 2007 to 2012. This thing promised sporty performance in a family SUV package, but delivered oil coking, timing chain stretch, and turbo failures that turn your fun crossover into an expensive paperweight. Here's the heat plus oil coking disaster.
The turbo runs so hot that it literally cooks the oil in the feed lines, creating carbon deposits that block oil flow to the turbo bearings. When the bearings starve for oil, the turbo seizes. Metal shrapnel goes through the intercooler, and suddenly you need a new turbo, new intercooler, and engine teardown to clean out the debris. Service proof you need to demand? Documented oil changes every 3,000 miles with full synthetic, turbo feedline inspections, and PCV system maintenance records. If the previous owner used conventional oil or stretched change intervals, you're looking at a ticking time bomb that'll explode when you can least afford it. Your 5-minute turbo feedline inspection. Pop the hood and look for oil residue around the turbo feed lines. Listen for turbo whine that changes pitch under acceleration. And check for blue smoke on startup that indicates turbo seal failure. Highway test cues include loss of boost pressure, excessive oil consumption, and that distinctive turbo whistle getting louder over time. Safer alternatives exist in the same model years. Naturally aspirated CX-7 models with the 2.5-liter engine run 200,000 miles with basic maintenance, while the turbo versions start having expensive problems around 80,000 miles. Mazda specialist Tony Chen told me turbo feed reroutes and religious oil changes can save these engines, but most owners discover the problems after the damage is done.
Here's the Subaru that destroyed the brand's reliability reputation. Outback and Legacy models from 2011 to 2014 with the FB25 engine. Subaru marketed these as all-weather adventure vehicles, but delivered oil consumption nightmares and short block replacements that left families stranded with massive repair bills. The oil consumption TSBs tell the whole story. Piston ring design flaws, PCV system problems, and cylinder wall scoring that causes engines to burn oil like vintage British sports cars. We're talking 1 quart every 500 miles on engines with less than 100,000 miles. That's not normal wear, that's systematic failure. CVT pairing stress makes everything worse because the transmission puts additional load on an already compromised engine. The FB25 struggles under CVT stress. Oil consumption accelerates, and suddenly, you're looking at complete engine replacement at 80,000 miles instead of 200,000. What documentation equals safe buy? Short block replacement records under warranty, oil consumption test results showing acceptable levels, or engines that have been completely rebuilt with updated components. If you see none of these, budget $8,000 for engine replacement within the first 2 years. Budget math versus walk-away decision gets simple. If the car costs more than $12,000 and doesn't have documented engine work, walk away. The repair costs will exceed the vehicle's value, and you'll be upside down on a car that can't be driven reliably. Subaru technician Mike Rodriguez told me, post-short block success rates are good, but original FB25 engines are financial disasters waiting to happen. The oil consumption is so bad that some owners keep cases of oil in their garages. Honda's turbocharged efficiency experiment turned into an oil dilution nightmare. Civic and CR-V 1.5 turbo models from 2016 to 2018. They promised great fuel economy with peppy performance, but delivered fuel in oil contamination that turns your engine oil into gasoline soup, especially in cold climates. Symptoms you need to recognize: rising oil level on the dipstick, gasoline smell when checking oil, rough idle in cold weather, and engine hesitation during short trips. The fuel dilution happens when the engine runs rich during cold starts, washing gasoline past the piston rings and into the crankcase where it contaminates the oil. Software and PCV updates help reduce the problem, but they don't eliminate it completely. Proof you need to require?
Documentation showing all software updates were completed, PCV system updates were installed, and oil analysis reports showing acceptable fuel dilution levels. Without this documentation, assume the problem still exists. Your cold soak start test. Let the car sit overnight in cold weather, then start it up and immediately check for rough idle, hesitation, or unusual exhaust smoke. Follow up with an oil sniff test. If you smell gasoline on the dipstick, walk away immediately. Updated calibration proof should include specific software version numbers and completion dates. Ownership profile that works versus doesn't. Highway commuters who drive long distances daily can live with these engines because extended operation burns off fuel contamination. City drivers with short trips and cold weather exposure should avoid these engines completely. Owner Sarah Kim told me, "I fixed the problem with software updates and changed my driving pattern to longer trips. Oil dilution stopped, but I still check oil levels weekly during winter months." Here's the Toyota engine that shattered the reliability myth. The 2AZFE in Camry and RAV4 models from 2006 to 2011. Toyota marketed these as their bread-and-butter reliable engines, but delivered oil consumption disasters that forced them into class action settlements and warranty extensions when owners discovered engines burning a quart every 1,000 miles. The oil consumption TSB years are pure financial poison. 2006 through 2011 models with specific VIN ranges developed piston ring problems, cylinder wall scoring, and oil control issues that turn routine maintenance into weekly oil top-offs. We're talking about engines that consume oil faster than some motorcycles. That's not normal wear. That's systematic failure. Piston and ring service costs get brutal when the consumption gets bad enough. Complete engine teardown, new pistons, new rings, cylinder honing and reassembly runs $4,000 to $6,000. That's more than most of these vehicles are worth on the used market, which means total loss when the problem gets severe. What mileage and documentation make it livable? Engines under 80,000 miles with documented oil consumption tests showing acceptable levels.
Your inspection checklist. Check maintenance records for frequent oil purchases. Look for blue smoke on startup. Inspect the oil filler cap for sludge buildup, and demand oil consumption test results if available. Post-update failure rates dropped significantly, but original 2AZFE engines from the affected years are still ticking time bombs. The oil consumption gets worse over time, not better. Surprise minivan disaster. Toyota Sienna from 2011 to 2016 with V6 driveline problems that turned family hauling into expensive nightmares. They marketed this as the reliable family vehicle, but delivered torque converter shudder and water pump leaks that can strand you with kids in the back seat. Symptoms and proof road test requirements. Torque converter shudder feels like driving over rumble strips during light acceleration, especially between 25 and 45 miles per hour. Water pump leaks show up as coolant puddles under the vehicle, overheating warnings, and that distinctive sweet coolant smell when the engine gets hot. Your belt pump bundle negotiation strategy. When you find a Sienna with water pump problems, demand they replace the timing belt, water pump, and thermostat as a complete package before purchase. This work costs $1,200 at independent shops, but prevents being stranded when the pump fails completely and takes the engine with it. A TF temperature reading during test drives. Use an OBD scanner to monitor transmission fluid temperature during the shudder test. Temperatures above 200 degrees during normal driving indicate transmission problems that'll cost $3,000 to fix. Cooler additions help longevity, but they can't fix existing damage. Timing matters for price leverage. Water pump and torque converter problems are predictable on these model years, so use them as negotiation ammunition. Demand repairs before purchase, or significant price reductions to cover the inevitable work. Minivan specialist Jennifer Rodriguez told me, pricing windows exist when sellers know about these problems but haven't fixed them yet. Smart buyers use this knowledge to negotiate thousands off the asking price. The three-row family hauler that became a financial disaster. Nissan Pathfinder and Infiniti JX35/QX60 from 2013 to 2016. They promised spacious family transportation, but delivered CVT thermal overload that turns soccer practice into tow truck calls when the transmission overheats under normal family loads. Heat management and towing mismatch creates the perfect storm. Load 7 passengers plus cargo into these vehicles, add summer heat or modest trailer loads, and the CVT starts cooking itself to death. The cooling system can't handle real-world family use, especially in hot climates or hilly terrain where the transmission works harder. What not to believe in dealer ads. Towing capacity ratings that ignore CVT thermal limits. Family-friendly marketing that doesn't mention transmission replacement costs. And reliable transportation claims that ignore documented failure patterns. These vehicles might start reliably, but they won't stay reliable under family use. Telltale data points on OBD scan. CVT fluid temperatures above 220 degrees during normal driving. Transmission error codes related to overheating, and slip ratios that indicate belt wear from thermal stress. Any of these readings mean walk away immediately. The damage is already done. When to pass entirely. Any Pathfinder or QX60 with more than 60,000 miles, any vehicle with towing history, any unit that's been used for regular family hauling in hot climates, or any CVT that shows signs of shuddering or hesitation. Transmission rebuilder Carlos Martinez told me, failure signatures on these CVTs are so predictable. We keep rebuild kits in stock specifically for 2013 to 2016 model years. The thermal load from family use destroys them faster than single-occupant commuter cars. Next up, the frame rust wildcard that makes some Toyotas worthless, regardless of engine condition. Here's the plot twist that destroys Toyota's unkillable reputation. Tacoma, Tundra, and Sequoia models from 2005 to 2013 with frame rot and air injection pump failures that can total otherwise perfect trucks. Toyota's legendary reliability means nothing when the frame literally crumbles underneath you, or emission systems cost more to fix than the truck is worth. Frame inspection order becomes critical in salt states. Start with rear cross members where rust hides. Check mounting points for suspension components. And use the frame tap test with a hammer to find soft spots that indicate internal corrosion. Buy zones versus salt states make huge price differences. A clean southern truck is worth $5,000 more than a Rust Belt equivalent. Air injection pump bypass decision tree. If the truck needs emissions testing, budget for proper repairs. If it doesn't need testing, pump bypass saves thousands, but may affect resale value. Body shop foreman Mike Rodriguez told me, frame remediation bills often exceed vehicle value on these trucks. A clean frame from a dry climate is worth more than low mileage with rust damage. Brand new doesn't mean bulletproof. Subaru Ascent from 2019 to 2020, early production runs. They rushed this three-row SUV to market with first-year teething problems that left early adopters dealing with recalls, software updates, and structural issues that should never escape pre-production testing. Early transmission and structural updates tell the story. CVT software calibrations that caused shuddering, suspension components that failed prematurely, and electrical gremlins that triggered multiple recalls within the first year of production. When a brand new vehicle needs this many fixes, that's systematic rushing to market, not isolated bad luck. How to confirm build date and completed fixes.
Decode the VIN to identify early production months. Cross-reference against all TSBs and recalls for that specific build period. And demand documentation that all updates were completed by qualified technicians. Early build dates from 2019 are higher risk than later production. Who should avoid versus consider these vehicles? Early adopters who bought 2019 models dealt with the debugging process, but 2021 and later production incorporated the fixes from early owner feedback. If you're looking at early Ascent models, budget extra for potential warranty work and updates. Without documentation proving all campaigns were completed, you're buying someone else's beta test experience. Subaru service advisor Jennifer Chen told me, VIN ranges from early 2019 production had the most issues. Later builds incorporated fixes, but early adopters paid the debugging costs with their time and frustration. Lexus Luxury meets Hybrid reality check. RX 450h and GS 450h models from the 2010s with hybrid power electronics that cost more to replace than most people's annual salary. They marketed Lexus reliability with hybrid efficiency, but delivered inverter and module failures that make German car repairs look affordable. Hybrid module costs destroy the luxury ownership experience. Inverter replacement runs $6,000 to $8,000. Battery modules cost $4,500 to replace, and cooling system failures can damage multiple expensive components simultaneously. When repair bills exceed $10,000 on a 10-year-old vehicle, the math forces you into total loss territory. What coverage remains and cooling health checks? Hybrid components carry 8-year, 100,000-mile warranties, but coverage expires quickly on older models. Cooling system health determines everything. Clogged hybrid cooling lines, failed pumps, or contaminated coolant can destroy inverters and batteries that would otherwise last 200,000 miles. Software updates and thermal management. Early hybrid software didn't protect components from overheating damage, and later updates help, but can't fix existing thermal damage. Your inverter warranty letter request should include specific coverage dates and remaining warranty terms before you make any purchase decisions. When a non-hybrid makes more financial sense. Conventional RX 350 and GS 350 models from the same years deliver 90% of the luxury experience, with 10% of the potential repair costs. Unless you drive 20,000 miles per year, the fuel savings don't justify the hybrid complexity risks. Lexus master technician Dr. Martinez told me, inverter red flags include cooling system contamination, software that hasn't been updated, and any history of overheating warnings. These components are reliable when properly maintained, but catastrophically expensive when they fail. The budget trap that destroys family finances. Mitsubishi Outlander and Mirage from 2014 to 2019 with Jatco CVT transmissions. They marketed these as affordable family transportation, but delivered the cheapest sticker price with the highest total cost of ownership when the CVT inevitably fails.
Low purchase price hides life cycle cost reality. You might pay $8,000 for a used Mirage, but CVT replacement costs $4,000 when it fails at 60,000 miles. The repair bill exceeds half the vehicle's original value, and the resale value after repair is still terrible because everyone knows about the CVT problems. Fluid intervals and cooling become critical for survival. Jatco CVTs need fluid changes every 30,000 miles, despite Mitsubishi's lifetime fluid marketing. And aftermarket cooling modifications can extend transmission life. But most budget buyers skip expensive maintenance, accelerating the inevitable failure. When warranty history equals walk-away decision, any Outlander or Mirage with CVT warranty claims, transmission service records,
or documented shuttering problems should be avoided completely. The CVT problems are so systematic that warranty repairs often fail again within 50,000 miles. Budget reality check gets brutal. These vehicles attract buyers who can't afford expensive repairs, but the CVT failures require expensive repairs that budget buyers can't afford. It's a financial trap that destroys credit and transportation simultaneously. Rideshare owner Maria Santos told me, "I burned through 2 CVT units in my Mirage within 4 years. The first replacement lasted 40,000 miles. The second one started shuttering at 35,000. I finally scrapped it and bought a used Camry that's been bulletproof for 2 years." Here's your rapid-fire hit list of 7 more Japanese cars that'll bankrupt you faster than you can say legendary reliability. Each one proves that badge worship without research equals expensive mistakes disguised as smart purchases. Nissan Murano, 2009 to 2014. Same Jatco CVT disaster, different body style. Infiniti Q50, early 7-speed. Heat complaints and harsh shifting that destroys drivability. Mazda CX, 2004 to 2010. Rust-prone in salt regions with structural integrity problems. Toyota Highlander V6, 2007 to 2010. Oil cooler line failures that cause catastrophic overheating. Subaru WRX and STI EJ25. Ringland and bearing failures under any performance modifications. Scion FRS and BRZ. Valve spring recalls and direct injection seal problems, plus oil pickup sealant issues. Acura MDX, 2001 to 2003. 5-speed automatic transmission history serves as legacy caution for used buyers. Your one-liner red flag per model. Murano CVT shutter, Q50 transmission harshness, Mazda 6 frame rust, Highlander oil cooler leaks, WRX ringland cracks, FRS valve springs, MDX transmission slipping. Each phrase should trigger immediate walk-away decisions when you hear them during inspections. Veteran appraiser Tony Rodriguez told me, "Halo tax mistakes cost buyers thousands because they assume the badge guarantees reliability." These 7 models prove that Japanese engineering isn't immune to systematic failures when cost-cutting and rushing to market override quality control. Your one-page battle plan that turns listing overwhelm into focused action. 4 lines plus build date TSB triangulation, plus pan temp route, plus frame tap map. Print this checklist and sequence it for your next lot visit. Today's search targets by model and year bands. Avoid 2013 to 2016 Nissan CVTs. 2008 to 2013 Honda V6 VCM. 2010 to 2010, 2014 Prius Generation 3. And any first-year production runs. Focus on proven platforms with evolutionary improvements instead of revolutionary changes. Your inspection sequence. VIN recall lookup. Maintenance record verification. Pre-purchase inspection by qualified technicians. And transmission choice verification. Avoid weak CVTs in favor of conventional automatics or proven hybrid systems with documented service histories. The math that matters most. Total cost of ownership, including purchase price, insurance, maintenance, and projected repairs. Monthly payments hide the real financial impact, but total ownership costs reveal which vehicles build wealth versus which ones destroy it. Download RJ's free guide, Avoid These 17 Cars in 2025. And subscribe. Don't let them take you for a ride with badge worship that ignores reliability reality. Next, watch 35 Cars That Die Before 50,000 Miles. Avoid at all costs. 2025 edition. because knowledge beats assumptions every time when separating reliable survivors from expensive disappointments.